U.S. Citizenship, Naturalization interview, with applicant Torres, a mock interview based on actual experience.
Hi, my name is Officer Johnson. I'm the immigration officer who will conduct your naturalization interview.
Hello, officer.
Tip number 1. Always remember that once you start meeting the immigration officer, then that is also the start of the test on how you understand the basic English language. The USCIS officer will test your speaking and understanding abilities before entering the interview room. Prepare to answer simple questions. You can watch our guide and interview videos to learn how to answer these questions.
How are you feeling today?
I'm anxious but glad at the same time.
Was coming here okay?
Yes, officer. Coming here was great. Less traffic.
Are you well prepared for your interview?
Yes, officer.
Tip number 2. It's important to follow simple directions that the USCIS officer will give you. If you can't hear it clearly, ask the immigration officer to repeat what he or she said. Understanding the basic commands during your U.S. citizenship, interview, and tests will also show your knowledge of the English language.
Follow me, please. Please come inside. I need to put you under oath. Place your things beside your chair and raise your right hand. Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Have a seat, please.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's start with your eligibility, then information about you. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Any questions before we start?
No, officer.
Tip number 3. Be prepared to answer these common questions that might be asked during your naturalization interview and tests. Being well prepared ahead of time will make you more calm.
Why do you want to be a U.S. citizen?
I respect the American form of government.
Tell me how you received your USCIS green card.
I was sponsored by an employment agency for a work visa.
Can I see your green card, passports, and any state-issued ID?
My passport, green card, and ID.
Are you eligible to become a U.S. citizen?
Yes, officer. I have been a lawful permanent resident for 6 years.
How long did you have your green card?
For about 7.5 years.
Tip number 4. You need to check if the name of your passport matches the name of your green card or permanent resident card. If the USCIS officer asks for your full name, you need to say loud and clear your given name or first name, followed by your middle name, a name between the given name and family name, if you have one, and then your family name or last name.
What's your full name on your permanent resident card?
Jenny Cruz Torres.
Tip number 5. Say all other names you have ever used, including aliases, maiden name, family name at birth, assumed name. This name is used to hide the real name to conduct business under a different name other than legal name. For example, someone might write articles under an assumed name. Nicknames and alternate spellings or variations of names. These are names can have various spellings and variations, often influenced by factors like language, culture, and history.
Your other names used since birth, like nicknames.
Jen.
Can you show me your original birth certificate?
Yes, sir.
Tip number 6. Be ready with the documents that you need to show to the USCIS officer. You don't want the interviewing officer to wait too long for you to look for your documents. Avoid wasting their time and organize your paperwork. You can buy a portable pocket folder with labels as an expanding file organizer for documents.
Would you want to legally change your name?
No, officer.
Tip number 7. A name change is your personal choice. A court can allow you to change your name when you naturalize. Any name change you request on your N-400 application will not be final until the court naturalizes you. If you want the court to change your name at your naturalization ceremony, say yes, and give the requested information to complete it. You do not need to request a name change if your legal name has already changed through marriage, divorce, or other court order.
What's your social security number?
802-624254.
Tip number 8. If your employer uses E-Verify to confirm new employees' eligibility to legally work in the United States, the information that you provided on Form I-9, Employment Eligibility Verification, will be compared to the data in the Social Security Administration, SSA, and Department of Homeland Security, DHS, databases. Employees must have a Social Security number, SSN, in order for E-Verify to confirm their eligibility to legally work in the United States.
What's your phone number in case we contact you?
831-424-8565.
We'll continue to your residence information. What's your present mailing address?
8246 Columbus Avenue, Manhattan, New York, 10025, Upper West Side.
Tip number 9. Make sure that your mailing address is the same as your current physical address. If you did not provide a complete physical address, you must provide a current mailing address because USCIS will use your mailing address to mail you notices.
Are you still living at the same address?
Yes, officer. I have lived at this address since I came to the U.S.
Let's talk about your parents. Is your mother or father a U.S. citizen?
No, sir.
Were they married before you turned 18 years old?
Yes, officer.
Let's go to biographic information.
Tip number 10. A USCIS officer could ask simple background check questions to see if Form N-400 matches the information you submitted to them.
What's your ethnicity?
Filipino.
What's your race?
Asian.
What color are your eyes?
Brown.
Your hair color?
Black.
How tall are you?
5'3".
Your weight?
120 pounds.
We'll proceed to employment in schools attended.
Tip number 11. Prepare to answer the questions for all your employment, including foreign government employment in the last 3 or 5 years. Start by remembering your most recent or current employment, studies, or unemployment information. You also need to answer, if asked about the locations and dates where you worked, were self-employed, were unemployed, or have studied. If you worked for yourself, and not for a specific employer, say that you are self-employed. Or if you were unemployed, say that you're unemployed.
What's your current job?
I'm a registered nurse.
Where do you work?
New York Community Medical Center.
Are you still working with them?
Yes, officer.
How long have you worked there?
About 6 years since I came to America.
Tip number 12. Maintain your confidence throughout the naturalization interview. This confidence will be reflected in how you speak, sit, maintain eye contact, and respond to challenging questions from the interviewing officer.
What type of work do you provide?
I evaluate assigned patients, implement, and document nursing care for them. I perform different patient tests and administer medications within the scope of my practice. I also assist doctors during examinations and procedures.
Your services are truly appreciated.
Thank you.
You are most welcome. Let's discuss your time outside the United States.
Tip number 13. When asked about all the trips you have taken outside the United States during the last 3 or 5 years, begin with your most recent trip and work backward or into the past. Prepare to answer the reason for your travels and how many days you stayed outside the United States.
How many times have you left the U.S. in the past 5 years?
I had 8 trips.
Your reasons for your travels abroad?
Visited my parents, close relatives, and friends.
How long was it?
About 170 days.
Do you remember the day you returned to the United States?
3rd week of June last year.
Let's continue about your marital history. Are you single, married, divorced, or widowed?
I am engaged.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
You are most welcome. Do you have any children?
No, officer.
Have you ever claimed to be a U.S. citizen?
No.
Have you ever been declared legally incompetent?
No, never.
Have you ever failed to file your taxes?
No.
Have you ever been a member of a terrorist organization, totalitarian, or communist party?
No, sir.
Were you ever involved in genocide, torture, badly hurting, or trying to kill someone?
No.
What is your understanding when you can hear these words? Rehabilitation program.
It is a program for restoring a person's health.
Have you ever been placed in an alternative sentencing or rehabilitation program?
No, sir, I haven't.
Tip number 14. Will I fail if I cannot answer word definitions from the N-400 application form during my naturalization interview? The inability to define words from the N-400 application form is not an automatic failure. USCIS officers are even instructed to rephrase and repeat questions until they're satisfied that the applicant understands or doesn't understand English. Applicants can also respond using simple phrases or words. Please know that the ability to understand English will not be based on being asked to define a word or phrase found in the Form N-400 application.
Tell me the meaning of this word. Narcotics.
Narcotics are illegal drugs like heroin and cocaine.
Have you sold or smuggled narcotics or illegal drugs?
No, officer.
Have you been a prostitute or procured anyone for prostitution?
No.
Have you made any misrepresentation to obtain public benefit in the U.S.?
No, officer.
Have you supported someone entering the U.S. illegally?
No.
Do you support the Constitution and form of government in the U.S.?
Yes, officer.
And are you willing to take the full oath of allegiance to the U.S.?
Yes, I am.
Are you willing to bear arms on behalf of the U.S.?
Yes, officer.
Are you willing to perform non-combatant services in the U.S. Armed Forces?
Yes.
Do you promise that everything you've said is true?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready for the civics test?
Yes, officer.
We will proceed to the civics test. Okay, let's start. What is freedom of religion?
You can practice any religion or not practice a religion.
There were 13 original states. Name 3.
Can you please say it again?
There were 13 original states. Name 3.
New Hampshire, New York, New Jersey.
What happened at the Constitutional Convention?
The Constitution was written.
How many amendments does the Constitution have?
27.
Name 2 national U.S. holidays.
Thanksgiving, Christmas.
We elect a president for how many years?
4.
You passed the civics test. Let's proceed to the reading and writing tests. Write this sentence on the digital tablet. Labor Day is in September. Read the sentence on the digital tablet.
In what month do we celebrate Labor Day?
You passed the English reading and writing tests. Accept this copy of your test results.